Many of my friends are unhappy. They think we should have kept our government closed indefinitely to protest the policies of the Trump administration. I share their opinions of this administration, but cannot accept a strategy which wages political battle at the expense of my neighbor's paycheck or the food for his children.
It really is kind of bonkers that they just shut down the country to just give the middle finger to Trump. It's so weird. It's a weird country we live in now. Joining me now, gosh, I used to watch her help fat people lose weight on television. Now she's joining me on my television show. Jillian Michaels, host of the wonderful Keeping It Real podcast. Jillian, it's just so odd that, one political party is really stupid, if we're being honest. That's the GOP. And the other one are like these terrorists that just do the worst possible things. And I don't know who I'm supposed to root for.
Honestly, I have tried so hard to get to the bottom of this, and here's what I've taken away from it. The Democrats put the COVID era Obamacare subsidies in. They set them to expire at this time. They were always supposed to be temporary. The reason they didn't even attempt to make them permanent is because they were so costly they never could have even possibly passed. And now they're raising, hell and high water over this. But after they won the elections, they've decided, screw it, and we're going to move forward anyway. So the whole thing was just for optics. We were all held hostage for optics. That's how it seems to me.
It does. It was for appearance's sake. And now, now that the government is going back to work, I don't know that that's a better situation anyway. Look, people can't afford health insurance. It's a big deal. Honestly, you've really just got to try to bust your butt to avoid the doctor now because no one can afford health insurance. It's bonkers.
There are so many things that are wrong with regard to insurance across the board. You can't get homeowners insurance. You can't get car insurance. There's something systemically wrong with that entire system. But listen, I'm not in government. This is not my area of expertise, but I often wonder, we subsidize soda. Literally. What if we subsidized healthier things for people so they would be healthier and health insurance would cost less? Like, there has to be a better way. Surely there has to be a better way. And not to sound like a complete jerk, but we could probably save the billions of dollars in healthcare costs for people who are not here legally that end up going to the emergency room, because we are all paying for that. And this is where I deeply understand America first. You got to take care of the taxpayers first.
Yeah, it's almost odd that the people of this country, they don't want the country flooded with foreigners en masse from all over the place. That's a very normal thing for any citizen. Yet our politicians on both sides have spent decades doing exactly that. We're supposed to have a representative government. At least that's what I was taught in school. But it doesn't look that representative when it comes to the issue of immigration at all.
Have you gone back in time yet and watched the videos of Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton saying all the same things that Trump said about the border and illegal immigration? And in fact, both Obama and Bill Clinton were so prolific that they deported millions more than Trump has. I think friggin' Clinton deported like 12.5 million using a loophole that he created called expedited returns, where people who came into the country were shot right out as though they were never here if they couldn't prove they were here for more than 14 days and if they were in within 100 miles of any border in the United States. And yet, when Trump does it, he's an authoritarian, fascist, racist. So it's so wild to me.
You used to be a Democrat and you used to be a Californian, and apparently you have decided to abandon both of those communist states. What happened?
Okay. Well, what happened, for example, is what I just mentioned. I don't know who this party is anymore. And it's been said by people far more intelligent and well-known than me that I didn't leave the left. The left left me. When I was a 90s liberal or an early 2000s liberal, this was not a party that advocated for open borders. This wasn't a party that wanted sex changes for children. Nobody believed in having biological males in female sports. Nobody wanted to defund the police. This was not a thing. Nobody was emptying Rikers. Nobody was doing that. So the Democrats, oh, and by the way, nobody was for socialism. And those are just a few examples. We could be here your entire show with me giving you a list of all the things that have changed, in my opinion, for the worse. And that's effectively what happened. The party is unrecognizable and their policies have wreaked havoc on California.
Do you find it hard to adjust to the Florida weather? I mean, I love Florida, but gosh, during the summer, it's just unbearable. When you were California, where it's just paradise weather-wise, that has to suck, right?
I actually love hot weather, but the sad part of this story is that I have some family that I need to help. And I have a family member who's older, not well. So I have to be closer to California. So we ended up getting a place in Wyoming, which is beautiful, but it's about to enter like Game of Thrones kind of winter. And I will take a Florida summer over, John Stark winter any day of the week. It's just, yeah. But I love the people and I love the way it's governed. And it is beautiful when you are not losing fingers to frostbite.
Yeah, I'm well acquainted with those winters. I grew up in Montana. I want to play you this little clip. Nancy Pelosi, Grandma Vodka, talking about Gavin Newsom.
It's clear that this governor has a vision for our country. He has knowledge of our country and our state. The state of California, the fourth largest economy in the world. Gavin manages that with great dignity. He has strategic thinking about how to get things done, and that is what has brought us together here. When this opportunity occurred, Gavin had a plan. He's a man with a plan, and that's what brings us here today.
Setting aside the liquid lunch she had before that little speech, Gavin Newsom concerns me. He raises good money. He concerns me for 2028. I personally find him detestable, but he concerns me.
Oh, God. He terrifies me. Joe Rogan said this best. You destroyed San Francisco, then you failed upwards and you destroyed California, and now what? It was just a test run and you're going to destroy the country? Nothing is better since Gavin Newsom has become the governor of California. Everything is worse. He inherited a surplus. Now we have a multi-billion-dollar deficit. Homelessness is up by like 30+%. Crime is rampant. The most vulnerable are getting hurt by his policies. And I could give you just one example of a law they passed. So cops would not be able to go after prostitutes for loitering. And they did this because they were worried about women of color and trans people who were prostituting themselves on the street. Ready? So gangs, of course, stepped up their game, and they're now trafficking minors who have fallen through the cracks of the foster care system, and the police can literally do nothing about it. There's a great article, if you don't believe me, in the New York Times about it, and the area is called The Blade. Like, this is the kind of stuff that Gavin's policies have begotten California, and there's been a mass exodus. And I'll give you one more, and then I'll shut up. He went on Sean Ryan recently, and he's like, utter bull. Utter. The people who live in California. Not true. Not true. We've had more people come in, more people. So when you actually do a little homework, 1.5 million California residents and American citizens have left the state for other states. But he did have an influx of roughly 986,000 people from other countries. He's a pathological liar and a horrible person.
That was wonderful. They took our most beautiful state and filled it with foreigners and tranny hookers. That's where we're at now. Jillian, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. Come back. All right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.